All right, so I have a great example today of a company that has a very, very smart setup and URL structure to help them to drive basically topical relevancy to a kind of category and section that's not directly related to their business, but is definitely in their set of customer types that they want to acquire. So JotForm, if you're not familiar, is basically an online form builder that allows you to go and build your own forms to embed on a website, to use for offline purposes, to collect payments, right? So there's a very kind of robust feature set and different types of integrations. But what's interesting here and what they've done is if you go to the header navigation under products and you click on HIPAA forms, they essentially have this section of the website where you'll see up here in the top URL structure /HIPAA, where what they're doing with this section is they're essentially building out a bunch of different pages and content assets to allow them then to rank for basically HIPAA related terms, right? So like HIPAA compliant online forms, HIPAA form builder. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see they have these additional categories and page types, right? So the features, browse templates, webinar, browse toolkits. And essentially why they've gone and done this, well, for multiple reasons. This is a similar example to the earlier video that I did about Rika, but basically they have a list of all of their different HIPAA related forms, right? COVID-19 vaccine registration, medical history form, et cetera, et cetera. The user clicks one of these to use the template and they go directly into JotForm, right? So rather than having an individual page to try and actually rank for these individual form types, it takes the user directly into the platform, right? So that's actually very frictionless. And I think there's probably, without doing the research there might be opportunity for them to build individual pages here to try and target these terms. But this allows them to take the user directly into the application, right? Here's an example. So I click on it, I go directly into JotForm. So I can start to use the form, et cetera, and then after a few seconds of me editing, then I sign up and give my information. Like, yeah, I started to fill it out. I want to use it. I want to save it. Oh, what else is inside of the platform, right? So that's another very powerful example of basically getting users directly in from organic into sign up into actually using the software in a very frictionless way. But again, talking about this kind of subfolder of JotForm, if you take a look at any of the pages underneath the HIPAA, they all stay within this subfolder, right? So on the bottom left, HIPAA / features, HIPAA / templates, HIPAA / webinar. So everything is living under this one singular category called HIPAA, where basically they've kind of sectionized this part of the website and allows them to target and rank for a bunch of different terms. Is JotForm HIPAA compliant? Is XYZ HIPAA compliant? Right? They're basically using and leveraging this for the specific audience, right? Healthcare providers and the healthcare industry that is worried about HIPAA compliancy to basically get a foot in the door, right? So it's a very, very smart strategy. And really, again, hits on the topic of, utilizing your URL structure and how you actually set up and structure your pages to try and tackle and go after maybe different industries, different segments, or around different topics that might not be directly topically relevant back to what your software specifically does.